In this little video tutorial, I want to talk about how you can use small apertures to get longer exposures when you're, for example, shooting water and want some motion there, about what negative effects this can have on the sharpness of the image and how you can overcome it. So let's look at this photo I shot in Antibes, France. I shot this in the morning. The sun was going up somewhere to the right of the frame, and I had a Lee 0.6 hard GND plus a Lee 0.9 ND filter in front of the lens. I was using the ND filter to get slightly longer exposures already. So what you see here, I shot at ISO 100 f9.5, and with the Lee filter in front of the lens, this gave me 0.5 seconds exposure. I was using the 9.5 f-stop to get optimum sharpness for this image. I was using the 5 DSR for this photo, and already at apertures around f9.5 and f11, diffraction will start to show up a bit, but those f-stops, from my experience, are still very good. This will give a good compromise between depth of field and sharpness. So for this here, f9.5 was the f-stop I was using to get everything from front to back sharp, and with f9.5 nearly no diffraction was showing up. But the water, for my taste, showed a little bit too much movement still. So my filter slots were already taken. I have two in front of the lens, and yeah, I could have switched to a big stopper. What this would have done, it would have given me a few minutes of exposure, which would have been too long. What I wanted was something around 2 or 3 seconds. So to achieve this, I went with what you see on the right here. I went down to f19, and with the same setup, this gave me 2 seconds of exposure and quite a nice movement in the water. But now let's look close, especially here at the city wall, where there's a lot of detail. On the left, you see a tremendous amount of detail which the 5 DSR produces, and on the right you see everything is blurred a bit, and this is because of the diffraction, and it's quite drastic. So if I was shooting the 5 DSR at f19, this would basically reduce the details to an amount which I could get from a 5D Mark II if shot at f11. So yeah, that's a complete waste. So what I need to do, I need to stick to apertures between f8 and f11 to get a good amount of detail. But in this case, yeah, well, I wanted the water smooth. But, well, that's quite easy. What I can do now, I have those 2 exposures. I go to Photoshop, load those layers. Here I have the short exposure. And with simple layer masking, I mask in the longer exposure for the water. And the water, it's no problem to have f19 or f22 because there's no detail which will lose through diffraction. It further smoothes out the water. And if you look at this mask here, you see it's quite simple. Did some drawing with my Wacom tablet, also using some of Tony Kuiper's luminosity masks to easily mask out the effect on the rocks. And yeah, this easy combination gives me exactly what I wanted to shoot.